started. The main topic today is best phone and tablet apps by myself, Tom Kreuzer. First, a little bio about myself. I'm the son of John Kreuzer in the middle here at Carondelet. I retired from 3M a few years ago. I was working in the 3M information technology area. I'm an officer and presenter of the 3M Personal Computing Club, and I still present, and a lot of the presentations I give here, I give to them. And at its peak, we had 1,200 members in the 3M Personal Computing Club. I mentioned I'm thrifty. I'm not cheap. So when we talk about phones, there's lots of good phones. I don't choose to spend $2,000 on a phone. In fact, my phone is this is from T-Mobile. The plan I have is a $20 a month plan from them, and the phone currently sells for $129. So you can get good phones, basic phones, and services. This is new. In the past, I said, send me an email. Well, they were having trouble getting people in here to do tech help, one-on-one tech help. So starting in August, I will be doing tech help on the first and the third Mondays, and you can schedule a 30-minute slot with myself from 1 to 3 p.m. And you can call the front desk, and they'll sign you up there. So the first one is going to be August 5th, and the next one in August will be August 19th, and I'll try and continue on. So if you do want that one-on-one help or have questions there. What's that? Yeah, or call the 5000 number, or just stop at the front desk, and they maintain a sign-up list down there. Okay? And when you sign up, I think they ask if you want to meet in the apartment, or otherwise we can meet in the bistro or someplace there, whatever works for you best. So if it's a problem with your computer in the apartment or a TV in the apartment or something, it may make sense there. Okay, I do these presentations once a month. The next presentation scheduled is Wednesday, August 28th. And it'll be on fake or real news. Because of artificial intelligence and because of social media and all the things going on, there's a lot of fake news, and it's easy for people to quote certain articles or links to certain pages or photographs or videos, and people believe they're true when the reality is a lot of the stuff out there is fake and phony. Also, along with my brother-in-law and sister and my dad, we do the Fix-It Clinic. We just got done with the one in July. We usually do it every 2 months, so the next one we'll do is in September, and there'll be more information on that coming up. But that you can sign up at the front desk, and we fix lamps and just about anything, glue things that are broken. So if you've got anything, keep that in mind. Okay, what I also do is I maintain out on the Carondelet website a section called Tech Help. And in there is a calendar. It has the calendar for the fix-its, the presentations, and the one-on-one help that I do. So in addition to the calendars that they have, there's a calendar out here that I put out here just specifically with these things. Also, what I do, this presentation and past recordings, I usually record them. And so what you see on the screen and the audio is recorded along with the handouts, and those are available out on the website. So if you missed a presentation or want to revisit it at any time, you can go out and revisit. There's also an FAQ out there, and you can ask a question if it's a simple question that way too. Okay, let's get to our main topic, which is best phone and telephone apps by myself, Tom Kreuzer. this handout, and so mainly we'll be talking about the content of what's on this handout. This handout is sorted by a category and then by an application. So we have things, category, and the categories I've broken them out anywhere from cooking to weather. So just kind of generally put them in. The app is the app name. The names vary from if you have an Apple device or you have an Android device. So some of the names vary a little bit, so when you're searching for them, you want to make sure that you're getting the one that I'm talking about or that I've mentioned there by using the names in there for the app. The next column on this page is cost. Most of them are free. Most apps are free, and even those that do cost money, most of them have a free version, and then you can pay either a monthly or a one-time fee for an app. And I list that if that's a concern out there. OS stands for operating system, and so some of the apps are just for the Android operating system. Some of the apps are just for the Apple operating system, so the iPhone, or most of the apps that we talk about and that I have listed on here are available on both the Android and the Apple. The next column is what I call the key. This is who or what recommended it, recommended this app. So if there's an A in this column, that means that PC Magazine was listed on their 100 best Android apps. If there's a B in this column, that means it was listed on the PC Magazine 100 best iPhone apps. C is for Tom's Guide. I'm not the Tom. This is a well-respected website and reviewer. He lists the 10 iPhone apps that you must have on your phone. If it's D, this is from the Google Play Store, listing the top 50 Android apps that have been downloaded. And T are ones that I personally use and recommend. I have an Android smartphone, and I also have an iPad, an Apple iPad tablet, so I use both there. M are apps that have been recommended by 3M PC Club members. So I mentioned I also present to the members there, and they have suggested a number of apps also. Then there's a column out there, new. This is the app is new to this list since February of 2023. So if you've used my old list before and just are interested in maybe some of the new things, you can just look in that column to see what's new. Yes?
Are all of these for both phone and tablet?
Almost a good question. So almost all of these will work on a tablet or a phone there. There are some exceptions where the maker of the app only made it for a phone and it doesn't work on a tablet, but for the most part, 99% of them will work on a tablet or a phone there. Okay? Where to search or download these apps. If you have an Apple device, you usually go out to the app called the App Store, and out there's roughly 2 million apps. So yeah, I've got a lot of apps listed here, but if I listed all 2 million, we'd have reams and reams of paper there. Android, you usually use the Google Play Store, and there's 3 million apps out there. And I mentioned here, sometimes you'll get an email or you'll go out to a website and it'll say, I've got the whiz-bang app for you. Just click this button to install it on your phone or your tablet. You want to be very, 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 very careful clicking on anything because in a lot of cases those are viruses or scams or hackers trying to get your phone. So you want to only download and install apps that you get from Apple, the Apple App Store, or the Android Google Play Store. You don't want to be using any of these other links there. So let's do this. Let me open this up. And here I opened up the Google Play Store, and I'm on a laptop. Well, this laptop isn't going to run these, but I can search for apps right here, and I can install them on my phone or on my tablet just from actually this device here. So I like looking for things on here because the screen's a little bit bigger and it's easier for me to navigate, and then I can choose where to put things. So you can do it all from your phone, but you can also do it from a laptop or another device there. Okay, so I mentioned the Google Play Store, and this is usually the screen that you see, and you can just put in the text to search for an app, and when you find an app out there, there's those things that you should look at. So before we talk about individual apps, I'll talk about things that you should check out about the app before you decide to install it on your phone or on your tablet. So this is what an app, information about the app looks like. Well, one of the things you can look at is you can look at the review and score. So in this case, this app scored 4.6 out of 5 stars, and it was reviewed by 308,000 people reviewed it. This is the number of people who have installed it on their phone or their tablet. Here it's over 10 million. You want a large number here because if you go out and are installing an app and only 100 people or 1,000 people have installed it, that's very poor. You should be installing apps that have a million or more installs, because that means it's very popular and it's used around the world there. And then this is a button to do an install there. You'll also see videos and images here, so they'll show you some of the screens and tell you some of the features and functions of the app, and it'll also list similar apps that you may be interested in installing or trying out. If we scroll down the page, you'll also see information about the About This app will give you more details on what the app does or is out there. It'll also tell you when it was last updated. And this is an important thing because if the app isn't getting updated or hasn't been updated in several years or 5 years, it's probably time to look for a different app that does that function. It's no longer being updated by the company that makes it. Here there's also more information for a similar app. More details as far as the review, who reviewed it, or what they liked, what they didn't like about it. So you have that information out there. And that's, like I say, before you install any app, it's good to look at that information, whether it's for items on this list, but also items that you may have heard from friends or family, what they have. Before you install new apps on your phone or tablet, I recommend that people go through and delete old apps that they aren't using. And frequently people will install an app and maybe not use it, and it just clutters up the phone, slows down the phone, uses your battery. So if you aren't using an app, by all means delete it, get rid of it, remove it, because again, these apps, if you did need it in the future, all you have to do is go out and install it again if you need it 6 months from now or a year from now or whatever. So I recommend keeping your phone or tablet clean, certainly with the apps that you use, but if you're not using them, delete them.
They bring them, sometimes on this phone, they'll bring them back if it's an Android.
You have that also on the Apple phone or that too. So once you've downloaded an app, if you remove it from the phone, it will tell you that you had this in the past and will bring it back. So that's on either of the phones there. Okay. Okay, the format of the meeting, we're going to move quickly because I'm not going to go through every app on here, as I mentioned. You can hold your questions unless you think it's a real quick one that I can answer there. Let's take a look at the list. And the list that I'll be using is this list that I have here. And so let me go back here. Well, let's first go here. So this is the Google Play Store. As I mentioned, if you're searching for an app, so let's search for Tip and Split. This is an app that I recommend and use. And so this is that information I talked about. You'll see a review. You'll see how many times it's been downloaded. This is where I can install it on my different devices, actually from here. Here's some screenshots. And the Tip and Split is a nice little app because, yes, you could use your calculator and divide and add a tip and things like that. This makes it so much easier. But also, this goes beyond the calculation. So if you're traveling, it'll tell you in which countries, what's the appropriate tip and things like that for busboys or for cabs or for hotels or all kinds of things. It'll keep you up to date on or give you suggestions on all that. And it's a free app, nice little simple app there. Okay, so let's go back here. So this is the list. As I mentioned, we were just talking about this one, Tip and Split. It's one that I use myself, and it's one that we talk about here. Okay, the next one that I'll talk about a little bit is Adobe Lightroom. So this is a photo editing app. Lets you do all kinds of edits to your photos and clean up things and remove things and organize things and that. It also gives you cloud storage to store your photographs and to share them with other people. And this is an example of an app that costs money. It's $9.99 a month, or you can buy a year subscription. But if you're into photography, it's a very good app there to help you do photography there. Okay, another one in the creativity category is one from Google called Google PhotoScan. PhotoScan uses your phone's camera and lets me take a picture, whether it's a painting up on the wall that I want to capture, or it's a picture that somebody has on their nightstand and I want to copy a digital copy of that picture. You take out this, you take out the app. The app, instead of just taking one picture, you take a picture and then it says, now move the camera this way, now move the camera this way, now move the camera this way and this way. So it takes 5 different pictures, puts them all together. If there's glass and there's glare, it gets rid of that. It crops the picture. It does all this stuff automatically for you as opposed to some of the others. So it's a free little app from Google, and it can make digitizing some of these photos, or even if you have scrapbooks or photo albums, you can take the images out of there and get them digital copy. A similar app is a newer one. So this has the X in the column of new. This is from, in the past I've talked in some of my presentations about MyHeritage, which is a genealogy site. It's like Ancestry.com, except it does some things better than Ancestry.com. And some of the things it does better than Ancestry, it deals with videos and photographs. It has a wide array of capabilities, artificial intelligence type capabilities that let you colorize old photos, let you sharpen old photos. this particular app lets you take a scrapbook, and let's say that scrapbook has a page with 4 photos on there. You take the photo of that page, it'll separate out each of those photos and digitize each one separately such that you can put it in a photo album and organize it the way that you want there. So again, there's lots of these apps to help you do these little functions there. Okay, the next one we'll talk about is Khan Academy. Are people familiar with Khan Academy at all? Okay, I'm not seeing too many hands there. Khan Academy was or is a venture that was started for free. They never charge for any classes. They have thousands of classes all the way from preschool to post-PhD. So if you want to become a nuclear physicist and want classes for free, you can go out to Khan Academy and you can learn any subject in the world for free. And this is underwritten by Warren Buffett, who is the stock market. Bill Gates, I think, gave $2 billion to this venture. But it's educational classes on every subject in the world. Thousands and thousands of classes and actually curriculums. If you're looking to improve yourself in a certain area, you can do that. Another one along that line that I highly recommend to people, it's called TED by TED. And so these are the TED Tech Talks. And these, if you're not familiar, they have famous people or people who have written books on particular subjects. It isn't just technical subjects, it's subjects, every subject around has been talked about. And there's thousands and thousands of these TED Talks. And this lets you, from your phone, search and view any of these. So if you're waiting in the doctor's office and you want to expand your horizon a little bit, go out to TED Talks and find something of interest and watch that. And it's all free. Okay, let's talk next about, this is one that I just started using in the last year. You can see it's new, and I'm the only one. It's called CW Stream to stream TV, channel 23. Channel 23 here is the CW. I like to watch golf. One of the golf deals on the CW is the LIV, the Live Golf. And the only way that you can watch the golf tournament on Friday is to use the app, because it's not broadcast on TV. It's free. So there's all kinds of free TV stations and different things out there, depending on what your tastes and what you choose to watch there. Another one here I mentioned, DirecTV, DirecTV Stream. This is a streaming service that can replace like Comcast or Xfinity television. And again, depending on what you're wanting to watch and what you're doing, there's all these options out there. Okay, the next one we'll talk about is Pocket Cast. Pocket Cast is for podcasts. I used to recommend Google Podcast. Google Podcast, Google stopped supporting that. And so I looked around and found this to be a nice replacement. Lets me listen to podcasts on multiple devices, and it keeps track of which ones I've listened to and which ones are new and things like that. So this mentions that it's $3.99. That's for the paid version. I'm using the free version, and it gives me all the features and functions that I need. Okay, next one, TV Guide. I do watch a lot of TV, and so to keep up on some of the newer shows, or if this is a repeat or things like that, I use the TV Guide to set my recorders. I have online recorders that I use in the streaming services and that. But to go through and see what's on. Let's say like for the Olympics now. Well, I can go out to TV Guide and I can see all the Olympic channels. I can see, oh, right now the U.S. is playing South Sudan in basketball. Well, I'm recording that. And so I can watch that later, and that's on the USA Network, I believe it is. But so finding out what's on and things like that, I use TV Guide. It truly is the guide if you are looking for what's on TV. Okay, another in the entertainment area is YouTube videos. I think I've had a presentation in the past just on YouTube because there's millions and millions of videos out there. I don't know anybody that doesn't enjoy going through videos. I mentioned we put on the Fix-It Clinic. Well, if you ever have anything break, you can usually find how to fix it on YouTube there. Whether it's a car, whether it's a lamp, whether it's anything, you'll find everything under the sun along with entertainment. My mother used to like Bob Hope. Bob Hope and his, when he'd visit the troops and they'd have his specials, all the Bob Hope specials are out there. You can watch them at any time, anywhere. So there's so much content that's out on YouTube. Along with cat videos and along with everything under the sun. Okay, finance. Was there a question? Oh, okay. Finance, I have a Fidelity Investments account, but every bank and every stock broker, that they all have their own apps for managing your account. And you should be using those because you can set up notifications of when transactions take place. You can check balances. You can do all this stuff very easily from your phone or from your tablet. And it's 100% secure, even if you're using the Presbyterian Homes guest network. Nobody can see any of your data. It's completely encrypted. So nobody gets accounts, passwords, balances, or anything like that. So I have people who say, well, I don't want somebody to steal my account information. I said, well, if you don't sign up, let's say for the Fidelity online account or things like that, a hacker can sign up and take over your account easier than if you set it up and put a good password and secure it. Okay, another one I mentioned here is Google Wallet. This is a relatively new one, at least for me. My prior phones, in order to, you've probably seen the ads on TV or gone into, let's say, Lunds, and just seen somebody swipe their phone where the credit card is. And that's done through Google Wallet, or if you have an Apple device, through the Apple Wallet. You add your credit card to your device, and that enables you to do this. In order to do that, your phone has to be capable of what's called NFC, near field communication. That's the way your phone talks to the swiping, credit card swiping deal. In the past, my phones were low-end phones, and they did not have that capability. Now it's built into this $129 phone. So I started using it, and that means I don't have to take out my wallet. I can just swipe my phone. And also, if you go to Twins games or things like that, any tickets that you buy usually get put into your wallet. And when you go into the park, you just pull up your wallet, you show them it, and you don't need any paper copies or anything. Okay, another one in the finance is Square Register. Square Register, I take credit cards. I have a garage sale every year, and I take credit cards. I can swipe credit cards. It doesn't cost me anything other than a 2.5% fee for the credit card there, but I can swipe credit cards and take them. Okay, next one I'll talk a little bit about it in the health and fitness is the Fitbit app. And it works without a Fitbit device. So if you do have a Fitbit device, a tracker or that's good. But even if you don't have a Fitbit device, it'll keep track of your steps and how many steps you've had, whether you've gone up or down steps, the distance that you've traveled, all kinds of information there. And again, that's free of charge. Another one, I have a blood pressure device. That blood pressure device, so a lot of devices that you buy today are what are called smart devices. This smart device this blood pressure device has an app for the phone, and when I take the blood pressure, it's collecting that information on the phone also, such that when I go into the doctor and I want to show them my blood pressure readings from the last 6 months or a year or from my annual checkup, I can just pull it up on my phone and I can show him the readings there. So he has all that information. Okay, another one I happen to like, it's called Map My Run. It's also called Map My Walk and Map My Bike. So no matter if you're walking, running, biking, canoeing, exercycle, whatever you're doing, this can keep track of the distance that you've traveled using GPS. It'll show you a map. It can tell you, let's say you have a particular route that you walk or that you run every day. It'll tell you how you're compared to the yesterday or the week before, or this is a new record for you, things like that. So it keeps track of all that information for you. This is a nice app. If you're trying to do self-diagnosis, become that doctor, or at least look at some of the symptoms, you can use WebMD to put in your symptoms and see what's going on. Again, it's not a substitute for a doctor, but it can be used in conjunction or to look things up before you go. Okay, this is another one, Pioneer Press. I know a lot of people, including myself, like to have the paper in paper form. It's easier to read, it's easier to do, but after 50, 60 years of the paper form, I've now gone to the digital e-edition. And the reason for that is because, unfortunately, the delivery of the paper to the house where I am is unreliable. They can't get good people, the paper gets wet, the paper doesn't get delivered, the costs keep going up and up and up, and now I just read it all online there. It's cheaper, it's there every day, I don't have to worry about it being wet, and I don't read it on my phone, I have an iPad, and it works out pretty good on the iPad. There's not as much scrolling as I thought there'd be in order to read the paper, so it's an option out there. Okay, another one on the productivity, it's called Adobe Scan. So we talked before about using your camera to capture photographs or art or things like that. Well, if you have a magazine that has text and graphics, usually the best format for that kind of information is a PDF file. And this is an app on the phone that, let's say I had a magazine, I can, and the magazine article is 3 pages long, I can take 3 pictures of it with my camera, it'll put it into a PDF file. The nice thing about the PDF file is I can then copy text, little snippets of text in there, or the whole article for that matter, and save it in a Word document or send it in an email, or I can send the entire PDF in an email or a text message to somebody else. So you can share articles and things like that with people. This I mentioned, Gmail. This is by Google. Usually when you have your phone or that, depending on who your provider is, they'll have their own email package. And as an example, I mentioned I have Android devices, I have Apple devices. I don't like the Apple email system. I use Gmail for all my mail. And so I'm not using the Apple Calendar or the Apple Email or the Apple Contacts. You can pick and choose which app gives you the features and the functions that you find the most useful in that, and use that app. Another one that I like in the productivity, it's Microsoft OneNote. So OneNote lets you keep track of lists. You can do notes, you can do voice recordings, you can put in links from web pages. It's like a notebook. Instead of writing things down there, you're putting it digitally into the device. And then I have access to this OneNote on all of my devices at any time. So whenever I get little bits of information, I'll create a new page, I'll start putting information in there, and it just gives me a spot to collect all of that. Okay, for searching, I mentioned before Amazon Alexa. I like their devices, and I have a number of their devices that I use, and they're great for doing searches. These are new this year. ChatGPT, there is an app for that, and Google Gemini, and these are AI apps. Now you can also get at some of these different capabilities through a browser or through other means, but these are apps that if you want to take a look at what some of the capabilities are, you can download the apps. They're free, and you can give them a try. And again, if you find that you don't use them, uninstall it, take it out after you don't use it. Here's one that I particularly like. Got the Minnesota State Fair coming up in August there, and this is an app put out by the Minnesota State Fair. It has the guide out there. It has the map. You can search for the food. You can find your way to the foot-long hot dogs or the shows that are playing out at the grandstand. You have all that information that's available there for you. This is an example of an app also that I'll install it right before I go out to the state fair. I use it while I'm out at the state fair, but as soon as I usually go 2 times a year, after I go 2 times to the state fair and no longer need it, I remove it and delete it off of my device. No sense taking up space or being out there, but it's a good app to use for that particular time when the state fair is on. Security, I mentioned everyone should be using a password manager, and the password manager I recommend is Bitwarden. It's available for free on all your devices, and you have the basic functionality is always free. They do have some advanced features that you can buy if you do want that, but it's a nice package there. This I just kind of mentioned here for in the shopping area. If you frequent a store or a dining establishment, almost every place has their own app. And it's worthwhile to download that app because usually they give you free things. You get incentives, the coupons, you earn reward points the more things that you buy or what happens there. So it's kind of nice to have there. Also, I mentioned this one, Centro. Are people familiar with Centro down in Highland Village here? They don't take cash, and they don't have servers that come around to the table. You go into Centro, you take out your phone, and you use the app on your phone to order your food and to pay for your food. The servers bring it from the back to your table, but they don't stand in front of you, and they don't swipe your credit card and these different things. So it's the world's changing a little bit. Okay, another one that I like in the shopping is Drive Safe and Save. This is a State Farm. I have State Farm for my insurance and for my automobile insurance. There's a little device that State Farm will provide for free if you want. That device goes in your car. Every time you drive your car, it keeps track of how you're driving. And it scores you on, do you stop at stop signs? How fast do you stop? How fast do you accelerate? How well do you do left-hand turns, right-hand turns? It keeps track of all that information and gives you a letter grade on how well you do, from A+ to fail. Based on how well you drive, you can get discounts. And in my particular case, I tell people, well, I talk to people and they say, I don't want State Farm or anybody knowing how I drive. And I go, normally I'd agree with you, but if I can save $200, $400, I'm willing to let them see. Plus it's a case of, I do want to drive safe. I shouldn't be violating speeding laws. I shouldn't be making bad turns. And this is a way to monitor that. And I tell people, I say, I'll compare my automobile insurance. I think my last bill for 6 months for my insurance was under $200 for 6 months of automobile insurance. So I'm willing to let them know how I drive, how far I drive, how fast I drive, because I consider myself a good driver, and I am getting A's in all those categories. At one time I wasn't getting an A in the left-hand turn, so it gives you tips on how to make sure you're doing 90-degree turns, make sure your turns, you're not doing them fast, so you slow down or stop and then make your turn, as opposed to making an arc turn and things like that. So it's kind of interesting there, or at least I find it interesting. Okay, another shopping app, Temu. Temu, if you haven't seen some of the ads on TV, is a competitor to Amazon. It sells more items than Amazon. Their claim is shop like a billionaire, because their items are so cheap compared to Amazon. In some cases, they may be a half or 10 times cheaper on Temu than what Amazon is selling them for. Now, a lot of these items are cheap items. And it can take anywhere from a week to several months for you to get the item, because some of the items have to be shipped from China and some of that is slow. But I bought a number of things from Temu there. Okay, social, Facebook, a lot of people use Facebook, and having the app, you get additional features and functions. Same with Instagram. If you're into photography or sharing images, that's the social platform for that. TikTok, video sharing, short videos. Again, it's literally billions of people around the world there. Here at Carondelet, Zesta has come up, and certainly you can look up the activities, the food at the bistro, events coming up. So that's an app that I highly recommend people use there. Google Earth to keep track of what's happening or looking at where you're going there. If you have a Wi-Fi printer and are printing, let's say from your phone or stuff like that, frequently you do have to install an app. I have a Canon laser printer, and I have to install a Canon print services in order to use that. Chrome browser, I use that. I also use the Microsoft Edge browser, so different browsers for different purposes. This is another app or another device, smart device, that's free from State Farm Insurance, and it monitors your voltage in your home electrical system all throughout your house. Whether there's spikes or brownouts or power goes out, it keeps track of all of that and will report to you. So it's kind of a nice little deal. Wise cameras, I have indoor and outdoor cameras, and this is a low-cost company for the services that they have and the cameras that they sell. Okay, we're at the bottom of the list there. Those are the apps. I went through them very, very quickly. But the intent, as I mentioned at the start, is use this list when you're looking for how to do something. And look in here, gee, I've got a little bit of time. I want to work with photographs. What are some of the recommended apps to work with photographs? And you'll see a bunch of them. And there are a bunch that are free. Try them, see if they do what you want. If they don't, the only thing that's cost you is your time. And then try another one and see if that does what you want. Questions? Yes?
You know anything about DuckDuckGo? Yeah,
DuckDuckGo is both a browser and a search engine. Its claim to fame is it's not monitoring you. Whereas if you go out to Google and do a Google search it keeps track of that information and will sell it to other companies and things like that. So DuckDuckGo will say, we're not spying on you. I'm not a real big fan of DuckDuckGo because they claim that they're not spying on you, but the way the internet works is anytime you go from one page to another page, you're leaving a paper trail of where you came from and where you're going to, no matter what browser you use. There's hundreds of pieces of information. What device did you use? What operating system is it on? Where are you located? All this information. And so you've probably seen on TV where they'll arrest a killer and the police go back and search for the records. And even if somebody used DuckDuckGo, I can find out what they were searching for, where they went, and what they did. So that's where you can use DuckDuckGo. I'm not a fan there. You'll find that the results from DuckDuckGo, I would much prefer the results from Google, Google search. And there's many companies that have tried to replace Google as the #1 search engine of where people go and what people search, but nobody has been able to do that. In fact, most people probably aren't aware of, but Apple gets paid from Google, what is it, $2 billion a year? $2 billion a year, and that's because Apple chose to make that their default search engine. And that's the way these companies make money, is they make money because there's ways to make money. Yes?
I was wondering about the WYZE camera and others. Can you get camera and others somewhere?
Yeah, the others, so Wise makes a number of smart devices, so like a scale, and they also make lights, and they also make the ability to turn on and off outlets and things like that. So they have other smart devices that are in there. But they started out with cameras, both indoor and outdoor, and their claim to fame, at least initially, is you had people buying Ring doorbells. Well, the Ring doorbells, when they came out, were $200, $199 for a Ring doorbell. Wise was selling the equivalent type for that for $29. So they kind of disrupted the market with these low-cost cameras, low-cost services, and now they've expanded out to all these other smart devices also. Okay, and these other devices, if you're, and we'll probably have a presentation on that maybe in a few months, because it's interesting for everybody, all the smart devices and the changes that are out there. These smart devices just keep getting smarter and smarter. You can connect them together. When my dad was living in the independent living there, I had Wise cameras in his apartment. I could keep track of if he woke up in the morning and was moving around, and I could drop in on him on any time and see what was going on, or if he was at his room and things like that. So there's lots of nice things that can be done with these different devices, and they just keep getting smarter. The Wise service, if you're a family and you have grade school kids or high school kids that come home in the evening, it can tell you which kid came home and when they came home with facial recognition. So it knows that Billy came home at this time and Susie isn't home yet, so they're really getting sophisticated in what it can do there. Okay, other questions, comments? Lots of apps out there. As I started out, the Apple Store and the Google Play Store, you're talking about millions of apps. So there's apps out there to do everything under the sun. I know people that, I think on here, I mentioned here, dark sky weather, or maybe we don't have it here anymore. There's one for stargazing. If you're into stargazing and you hold your phone up and you point it, and it knows what direction you're pointing your phone, and it'll show you the Big Dipper should be right there, and this is what's there. So no matter what hobby you have, no matter what you like or that, there's usually some apps or some things to kind of make things easier there for you. Yeah.
In the column of your wall text, where it says both, does that mean that either the Apple Store or the Google Store?
Yeah. So most of the apps are available for both Apple and Android. The ones that are only available for one or the other, that's where I'll list just Android. And even that can change, because at the time that this was done, that's what was available. If frequently a person or a company that's making an app will try and make it available on as many devices and as many platforms as possible. So usually they're trying to convert and make sure that their app will work, let's say, on an Apple device. So
ordinarily, if I go to Google, I can't find something for my Apple iPad.
if you go to the Apple Play Store on your iPad, you'll find, what's that?
If I go to Google Play, so I find things for my Apple.
No, you're correct there. If you're on your Apple iPad, you go to the Apple Store, the App Store. If you have an Android device, you go to the Google Play Store. So those are where you should be going to search for this app and then download it and install it. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, you don't want to be downloading or installing from a link that you got in an email or a link out on a website where somebody said, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world, click here to download the app. Well, that could be a scammer or a hacker or a virus. The stuff that's out on the Apple Play Store and the stuff that's out on the Google Play, those have been scanned and aren't viruses or hackers. Okay, any other questions or comments? And then use the list there and just go through it. And like I say, if you're just looking for something in a particular category or you want to try something, here's on the searching. Well, here's iBird. Well, if you like to watch birds and you don't know what the bird is, this is an app that if you take a picture of the bird, it'll tell you exactly what the bird is, and then all the information about the bird. So there's so many different apps out there to help you do whatever it is that you're doing in your day-to-day life there. Okay, well, thank you for coming. And next month it'll be fake news there, so you won't know whether it's the truth or the fake news. Thank you.